Let's talk about this Graham Platner controversy. Right? If you don't know Platner, he's a Democratic candidate in Maine Senate race. He's kind of blown up online as of late, has raised millions and millions of dollars, but he's now found himself in a predicament. And it stems from this video that's now been widely seen from the Pod Save America podcast. And in it, you can see he has a tattoo, and it looks a lot like a Totenkopf or a death's head. Yes, technically, the death's head has existed in German military traditions for much longer than the Nazis, but ever since World War II and its use among SS divisions, it's been exclusively associated with them. And with that, you have Platner claiming that he got this tattoo back in 2007 while in the Marine Corps and on leave in Croatia, and that one night he got drunk and decided to get a skull and crossbones tattoo without ever realizing that the one that he got was, or at the very least, is very similar to the Nazi symbol. With him also claiming that he only recently learned about the resemblance, made plans to get it removed, and that also despite multiple government agencies taking a look at it. So for example, he joined the army and they check all tattoos for any possible hate symbols, and apparently they didn't have any issue with it. With Platner also adding there, I also passed a full background check to receive a security clearance to join the ambassador to Afghanistan security detail. And with all of that, as of yesterday, it appears that he has gotten the tattoo covered up, with him telling reporters, going to a tattoo removal place is going to take a while. I wanted this thing off my body. And so you have all of that, that's playing out, but also it's not the only thing that's been playing out, because it seems like whoever is doing the opposition research here has been doing their job. Because in addition to the tattoo situation, there's also been a controversy around his old Facebook and Reddit posts. Posts and or questions around Black people's tipping habits, mocking rural Americans and dismissing military sexual assaults. And regarding that first thing, he said on Pod Save America,
I was legitimately asking the question. I mean, that was the point of the thread, was to ask the question. Amusingly enough, I remember this time when I had first started bartending, and then I had a conversation with a friend of mine who was Black, who was a bartender, who did a great job of walking me through structural injustice and the fact of feelings of lack of agency. There were a whole bunch of reasons, and after that, I was like, oh yeah, that makes absolutely perfect sense. It was certainly not meant as a malicious thing.
With Platner later adding, that one, I must say, I was legitimately curious. Right, and that is, you had Platner trying to explain his past comments, saying they were made during a dark time in his life after leaving the army, and he was still suffering the effects of PTSD. But also regarding his past and who he is now, you had him telling the AP, I don't look at this as a liability. I look at this as a life that I have lived, a journey that has been difficult, that has been full of struggle, that has also gotten me to where I am today. And I'm very proud of who I am. And all in all, this has been a very interesting situation to watch play out, because depending on where you go online, vastly different reactions. Like some saying they outright don't buy his story, they have questions, they're skeptical, some calling for him to back out. One of his biggest critics actually seems to be his former political director, Genevieve McDonald, who claims that Platner knew what the tattoo was and wrote, Graham has an anti-Semitic tattoo on his chest. He's not an idiot, he's a military history buff. Maybe he didn't know it when he got it, but he got it years ago and he should have had it covered up because he knows damn well what it means. But that also is, you have a lot of people out there believing his story, talking about growth and human change. But as far as how this is going to play out, we'll have to wait to see. You know, Platner still right now says that he plans to run, and he has the endorsement of Senator Bernie Sanders, at least as of recording this video. Right, and all of this is, of course, it's still primary season, and he's going to be up against two-term Governor Janet Mills. Right, and then whoever wins the primary, they'll go up against Senator Susan Collins. Yeah, for now, we'll have to wait to see how this plays out. And in the meantime, I would really love to know your thoughts, opinions, and reactions here, especially, not limited to, but especially if you live in Maine. Because that's the big thing about elections. Really, it's only your opinion in this specific situation that matters. But the rest, it might affect like who or who isn't donating, public conversation, but that's noise, that's dollars, and then there's the vote. And so right now, I'm very interested to see what polls might say in the next 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks.